What an incredibly stupid take. That's such an like I'm like, wow, I can't believe you of all people actually saying that like he can't defend. What an incredibly random Twitterism that you're just throwing out into the world.
We'll start off with that game between Denmark and England. It finished 1-1, and oh my God, Mansi, I there were so many memes out there that were saying that it is more entertaining to watch paint dry, and I
I saw.
completely agree because that was the most boring performance from what should be a very exciting England team.
Exactly. And more so given the opponents as well, right? Because you would say
Yeah,
somewhere they are a very competitive team, Denmark. And you look at the talent in England's squad and their performance in the first game. I thought Bellingham would probably give us more goals, even Kane would do better, but it was so boring. And I mean, I feel like England was sort of lucky to get a point because Denmark were coming really hard in the second half.
yeah, they were. The big point that has to be discussed, of course, and Mukesh, you as a Liverpool fan, or as I like to call it, an absolute poor decision maker, will know about this, which is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, what is Southgate trying to do with him? Why is Southgate playing him in that midfield role, which is a role that he is not used to, he's not comfortable in? And it's clearly not working because he was a shadow of himself in that position, and it just puts the entire England lineup off balance.
I think at this point, if you just literally pick 11 random players and be like, guys, play any way you want to play, that might be a better strategy than what Southgate has up his sleeve because I don't see any reason for Trent to play in a midfield without the necessary coaching in place.
Yeah,
I think the call for him playing in midfield, even if it deserves any legitimacy, it deserves at the club level because those are players you're playing for across a period of 9 months.
yeah,
Here you're basically throwing players and they're sort of going with their first instincts, right? And what they already know. And
yeah,
what they already know and see what the knowledge base that he comes with is playing as a defender, who sort of cuts into midfield and who sort of finds himself on the wing somewhere, right? And that's his
yeah,
natural instinct so far.
yeah,
And that's enough actually. Right. And that's actually more than enough and there's enough firepower in the midfield without Trent slipping in there.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know if Southgate's trying to be like, ooh, let me also try to pretend to be like a certain ball genius. I don't know, like, what is the need for this experiment? There's enough talent. There's no need for any of this.
I don't know why
And
Southgate is trying to be Eric Ten Hag. All right, there's
correct.
Yeah, I think like
Um,
tournament football is not the right time you make experiments, right?
it's
At
not. It shouldn't be.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, why would you want to play a player out of his natural position? Even though I mean, the reason he's been giving is that he has a great range of passing. Sure,
Yeah.
we agree on that. Uh, but I think when it's failed in two matches, you probably have to do something there, right? Make some changes. It's clearly not working.
I have something controversial to say, and I really want to know Mukesh's opinions on this.
oh my
Although I
God.
know what his opinions are going to be, I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is a fucking highly overrated player.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
he is absolutely useless, and I'll tell you why. What is his game? He what
Hmm.
you say he's being played out of position. What is his natural position? Are you going to say it's right back because the man can't defend? All right, he is a
Amog, you're just
liability.
saying Twitter things. Like
I'm
you
not
really
saying
are
Twitter
just saying
things.
Twitter things. What an incredibly stupid take. That's such like I'm like, wow, I can't believe you of all people actually saying that like he can't defend. What an incredibly random Twitterism that you're just throwing out into the world and saying, hey, that's your opinion. You
I'm
can't actually be saying that. Like
I am
you can
actually
say
saying
if
that.
there are defensive lapses, okay, fair enough, maybe because he's been pushed to play up front and that's the attacking thing. He's what an incredibly silly thing to say that Trent Alexander can't defend.
No, but
Like
okay, okay,
that's
okay.
like, oh
Let
my
me.
god, that doesn't even warrant. If I wasn't your friend, I would not even warrant it with a reaction. That's how silly a take that is.
But this is why. This
Like
is
that's one
why
of those like
This is exactly why I befriended you, Mukesh, so that 5 years later I could do this to you and you would give me a reaction. That is the whole plan. No, but if you're saying about, I want to go back to what you were saying about there being defensive lapses. If you're saying that defensive lapses in his game is something that you can say, and that is agreeable.
and that's also because that's the position he's been played with at in Liverpool in an era when the midfielders were tasked with primarily defensive duties, the task given to the fullbacks, Robertson and him, were to go on the sides and bomb in balls, right?
Yeah,
And that was a task, and they did it, which is also just, which also explains why they have so many more assists, which
but
also explains why Liverpool has struggled after the departure of the likes of Fabinho and Henderson and Wijnaldum, because
correct,
they haven't covered up defensively for them. But that was the role
correct,
given to him by the coach.
correct. So
Like, it's not that, oh, this guy can't defend. It's that he's
okay,
being told to stay up front. Amok, this is such a stupid debate. I
okay,
can't even
but
believe I let myself get baited into this nonsense. You know what? Say what you want. This is such a stupid, basic
okay,
ass fucking take. Like, I can't even believe it. Like, oh my god, Mansi, I really need you then.
okay,
Like, I can't with this. This is such a 2019 ass fucking take. Like,
He
okay.
triggered you.
this guy has won the Champions League and the Premier League playing there. The
Arey,
stats back him up. It's so obvious. The Klopp has told him to go up front. Like
Nuno
it's so.
Espirito Santo also won the Champions League with Porto यार, like वो मतलब हो जाता
Oh
है
yeah,
यार,
sure. Oh my God, Amog. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh
हो
my
जाता है,
God.
look,
Oh,
all I'm trying to say is between
oh my God. This is
between Robertson and Trent, if you're saying
incredibly
that the
silly.
coach has told them to bomb up and attack, Robertson still tracks back and defends.
Nope,
The
Robertson does
defense,
not. By the way, Robertson does not as much.
okay, so they're both shit defenders. That's what we're trying to say. But the thing is, I'm sorry. It was
Aw.
just fun.
Oh,
It's just fun. It's just fun to rile Mukesh up, and also rile all the Liverpool fans will be listening into this. I think my objective has been achieved. No, but the point is, coming back to England, I think the point is whether Trent is worthy of a place in that lineup or not is well debatable. But the point is that Gareth Southgate's managerial decisions are harming the team, are actively harming the team, because it's not just the Trent position; it's also where he's playing Phil Foden. Now, Phil Foden is a player that loves playing in the center or on the right. Right, he is deployed on the right wing by Guardiola, where he can cut in to his left foot and he can affect the game a lot better that way. Instead, what Southgate is doing is he's putting Foden on the left wing, where he is not that effective. In fact, in the Denmark game, it's only when Foden drifted into the center is when we saw flashes of his brilliance. So that is another position that Southgate needs to look at.
Yeah, I think in the first game, Foden was sort of missing, right? Everybody was happy with the result, but then not so happy with his performance. And somewhere he did step up in the second game. I do think, yeah, he could do some changes, but yeah, definitely have to start with Trent. Probably get him off. If I were him, I would play him in the next game. You see, he was subbed off in
I'm
both the
very happy,
games.
by the way. As a Liverpool fan, I don't want any Liverpool player to play in the national any of the national squads, except for maybe Holland, because I have a little bit of a crush on Holland. But
Why,
other than
bro?
that, I'm okay. I'm
Anyway,
very
you.
comfortable. I'm like, whoever the remaining Man United players, Arsenal players, City players, please
Okay.
fill up the national teams. Take the hits, take the injuries, take the tiresome fixtures,
Take the
take the load, please.
criticism, take the bashing.
In fact, I want them to take the physical load. I want them to come back exhausted.
I feel like that's one of the reasons why I don't want Kobe Manu to play too much, because he will be made a scapegoat out of, and you don't
Yeah.
want that to happen. But I feel like, yes, what you said, Mansi, is right. I think Alexander Arnold definitely needs to be benched for the next game.
Yep.
And
But I like how we came to the same conclusion,
Yeah.
but for very different reasons and after a big fight.
yeah, it's
That's fine.
the real victory is the friends you made along the way. You know
And that's Mansi.
that
I'm happy and I'm
yeah.
glad.
Yeah. But I feel even his substitutions, right? Like he did take Trent off at 54 minutes in the game, but he's replaced him with Conor Gallagher, and again, like it's not an inspired change. Like you need somebody else in there. You need Foden to play in the center. Maybe push Bellingham back slightly deeper into midfield and partner Rice, and put Foden on top of them, with Saka maybe on the right where he is, where he has been the most effective. And on the left, just use Anthony Gordon, man, or use Cole Palmer if you have to. Or and also, if you are going to substitute Harry Kane later in a really confusing triple substitution that involved Saka, Foden, and Kane being taken off for Watkins, Eze, and Jared Bowen, put Cole Palmer up top. Cole Palmer has not played a single minute of the Euros, and he's had a fantastic season in a depressing Chelsea unit.
Yeah, I think even those changes were sort of weird because I didn't expect Kane would be taken off. I feel
Yeah,
like, especially after he scored, you'd rather take off Bellingham because he was almost anonymous in attack in the second
yeah,
game.
yeah,
But when it comes to the other subs, as funny as it sounds, they were having some impact. I mean, that just speaks about how boring and
yeah,
ineffective the other attackers were.
yeah.
I'd probably go with maybe Menu would have been a good choice. I don't know. I feel like you need some sort of firepower. It might have helped him. Some minutes would help
I
him.
actually feel like it might help to play someone parallel with Kane. Actually,
Okay.
now if they maybe try play a 4-4-2, because I think Kane, I don't know, maybe someone younger and faster. So
Yeah,
if you can
Hmm.
stick someone up there, maybe just tell Cole Palmer, be parallel to him
Hmm.
and run as fast as you can after this guy clears the last man, because then maybe you get Harry Kane on assists a little more than goals. But maybe that's the way you go, because Harry Kane takes away almost a player and a half or two players with him, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
And so maybe that's probably the way I would say to go about it. Because see, there's one thing: Southgate does not want to concede. I think for him, it's like the worst thing you can do is concede a goal, right? Like
yeah,
Yeah.
he will, he is very happy to play 300 minutes of football without conceding a goal or not scoring a goal. Uh, so he's not that guy who's going to look for goals. So the players have to, the strikers have to somehow make the goals happen by just making forward runs. Like I think that's the only way England are going to win anything,
yeah,
right?
But then Kane's
Whatever.
not even getting that luxury. Like I was seeing something, there was this map of all the touches he had against Denmark, and you see he's been all over the field except when like he's been going in left back, right back, or on the wings as well. I remember once he even stopped a few shots from the opposition. So since you're not allowing him the luxury to just be the target man, this guy has to go around everywhere. Plus, he doesn't look in his best form. Maybe there was this back issue that he had last season, so I think that's still carried on as well.
yeah, yeah. I think also one final thing about Southgate's this thing. Why did he take Luke Shaw? Why? Why? What is the point? He's just
Yeah.
reduced one spot in a 26-man squad for a guy who is clearly unfit. He is not. He's still recovering from injury. There was a chance that he would feature in some way against Denmark, but that's not happened. Now we might not see him until the knockout stages if England even actually reach the quarters. Let's say
Hmm.
it's just a very very bad gamble. It's a gamble that has not paid off, and unless they change something against Slovenia, this is going to be a very very depressing tournament for England yet again. It is going to be
Yeah.
one where
That
football
is
definitely does not come home.